Hi, this is Justin, Anchor Counseling Services, and I wanted to take just a second to respond to the question, when do I know when it's time to see a counselor, or how do I know if I should see a counselor? I think this is a really good question because counseling takes time and it takes money and it takes energy and investment. So, it's not something that you want to get into haphazardly or on a whim. It's something that a lot of people think a lot about. And so I want to start just kind of by challenging where that question's coming from, because I think that sometimes what happens is we get into this mode where we're constantly responding to crisis, kind of living our lives from one crisis to the next, where we're all stressed out about one thing and then that stress kind of passes and then it's back to normal. And so, take for example a conflict in the family, with a spouse or a child or a parent. Maybe things are going great, you have the conflict, you think we need to see a counselor, we need to get some support on this, we need to come up with some strategies for how to get along better. And then next thing you know, you have an afternoon together where it feels like everything's pretty good, pretty smooth, and it feels like, what were we thinking, stressing about whether to see a counselor. So I think that it's important to think about ways of staying ahead of the crisis, thinking about ways of planning for when struggles are going to come up and figuring out ways to deal with them proactively so that you're staying ahead of the stressors and you're finding ways ahead of time to deal with what's going to create conflict in your relationships. So when should you see a counselor? I think that's a question that only you can really decide, but one encouragement I would have for you is find ways to stay ahead of the crisis and find ways to plan for the future so that you're not living crisis to crisis. Thanks.